think one of the more confusing and confounding emotions that we can have is grief because we can experience it without realizing it because of our association, thinking that grief is only valid when it's associated with some kind of loss, like the death of somebody we cared about. And yet, there are so many ways that grief comes up, in particular when we're going through transitions and transformations. So if this is resonating, stay tuned. Hi there, my name is Stephanie. I'm an art therapist who coaches women online on how to move from surviving to thriving so that they can experience greater self acceptance, self love, and self worth. I'm going to list some big ones that most of us experience, and yet very few of us take the time to honor. And we deserve to have our pain seen and heard by especially the most important person in our lives, which is ourselves. So let's, for example, someone you might be grieving who you felt like you used to be. You might be grieving the life you thought you would have, the relationship you thought would work, the version of yourself that existed before everything changed. This kind of grief, it deserves space too. Let me give you a for example. So, some of you may know that I'm a breast cancer survivor who carries the BRCA2 gene mutation. When I went through treatment for breast cancer, I did everything I needed to because I wanted to continue to live, especially because my mom died when I was 26 from the illness. And so one of the recommendations was to have my ovaries removed. And thankfully, I already had two children. So I was on board with that. So I went willingly into that surgery. And on the other side of it, I knew I was going to be in menopause, but the grief that I experienced wasn't so much about that. It was about the very first time in my life in which I couldn't just continue to expand and grow or pursue something, a permanent end, I could no longer have children, was there. And I needed to sit and honor that, even though it wasn't a goal. So I hope that you can take that and apply that to your own life and that you can give yourself the space you need. From my heart to yours, have a beautiful day.